Hi, and thank you for tuning in to Noir Histoire. I'm Natasha, and in this Black History show, I'll be discussing the Buffalo Soldiers. The U.S. military's first all-black regiments were established during the Civil War. When the war ended, some of the soldiers continued to serve, and after Congress passed the Army Organization Act in 1866, it allowed for the creation of 2 cavalry and 4 all-black infantry regiments. The mission of the newly created regiments was to maintain order on the Western Front as America expanded. Officially, the soldiers were members of numbered regiments, but they were given the nickname Buffalo Soldiers by Native Americans, though the exact reason for the name is unknown. The 9th Cavalry Regiment was formed in New Orleans, Louisiana in August and September 1866 and spent the winter and early part of 1867 in training. In April 1867, they were sent to San Antonio, Texas to take control of the road to El Paso by repelling local Native Americans who had been forced off their land and onto reservations. The 10th Cavalry Regiment was organized in Fort Worth, Kansas, and was then posted to Fort Riley in August 1867 to guard the construction of the Pacific Railroad. Wages for the soldiers were relatively low, at $13 per month, but many had enlisted because the wages and treatment were better than they were for most black civilians. But the Buffalo Soldiers still faced discrimination, both within the military and in contact with the public. The Army Organization Act stipulated that all of the regiment's officers would have to be white. Troops faced harsh weather and exposure to the elements, but as with other soldiers, were often given inadequate supplies and outdated equipment that were leftovers from the Civil War. Despite these injustices, the regiments still displayed immense discipline and were noted for having the Army's lowest rates of desertion, court-martials, and drunkenness. In a touch of irony, the Buffalo Soldiers were members of an oppressed people who proved to be an effective fighting force against another group of oppressed people. Tasked with helping to secure the push west, the regiments ensured law and order by functioning as armed escorts and keeping frontier traders in line. But because their primary role was to assist in the control of Native Americans in the frontier, they were deployed to fight in battles that would come to be known as the Indian Wars. Before leaving their training grounds in Fort Leavenworth, the 10th Cavalry Regiment fought the Cheyenne near the Saline River. In 1874, the 9th Cavalry fought against Native American tribes in the Red River War, after which they were joined by the 10th Cavalry Regiment in Texas. The Buffalo Soldiers engaged in an estimated 150 to 200 battles against Native Americans, which had pushed and kept most of the tribes on reservations by 1880. The cavalry regiments were next sent to what was then referred to as the Indian Territory, present-day Oklahoma, to push white settlers off of Native American land where they had illegally settled. After the Western Front achieved some stability, the Buffalo Soldiers were deployed to Florida in the late 1890s to fight in the Spanish-American War. They saw action in the Battle of San Juan Hill, were sent overseas to the Philippines, and guarded the Mexican border during World War I. In addition to fighting in battles, the Buffalo Soldiers served by helping to protect some of California's national parks from wildfires and poachers. The Buffalo Soldiers continued to exist and served mostly in their original form in the 1940s. During that decade, the cavalry regiments were combined with another cavalry division, and the newly formed group served during World War II. Towards the end of World War II, the 9th and 10th Cavalry Regiments were disbanded. President Truman integrated the military in 1948 with the enactment of Executive Order 9981. Within a few years, the military's all-black regiments had been disbanded. Thanks for tuning in. Show notes are available on the Noir Histoire website via the link in the episode description. If you enjoyed this episode, please click the thumbs up button. You can also share it online, on social media, or with someone you think might enjoy the episode. Doing this will help other people find the show, which helps it to grow. If you aren't already subscribed to the Noir Histoire YouTube channel, I hope you subscribe now and return to get motivated, get inspired, and get more stories of Black history made and in the making. Until next time, take care.